So for this week's assignment, I am going to be interviewing my roommate. His name is Derek. He's 20 years old, and he is actually the younger brother of my best friend, and like I said earlier, is currently my roommate. He's currently a junior at ASU, majoring in engineering management, and spends a large amount of his time in his room playing video games. I'll see him like maybe every once in a while when we're like passing each other in the apartment, which I think makes him a pretty good roommate. So when it comes to gender equality and just like multicultural equality, I guess, I honestly don't know what Derek's answers are gonna be like. You know, just from some of the stories that he tells me on like a everyday basis, you know, when we're standing in the kitchen or whatever. I sometimes question some of the values that he has, but I guess it's going to be more of a we'll find out together type thing. Are there certain colored clothing reserved for one gender or the other?
No.
Okay. Which gender do you think studies the most?
Studies the most?
Yeah.
If you're talking the world, I guess guys, because of like some countries women can't study, but I guess if you're talking like around here, both. I don't know, women might study more.
Okay. At what sports are women considered better than men? Or are there any sports that women are considered better?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I literally got nothing for that. I would go. I don't know if you're. It's so different, just because like there could be really like, I guess if you would say like physically dudes are technically built like more than women. Like that's just genetics, but like that doesn't mean that a certain guy is not going to be smaller than a certain woman.
Okay.
But I don't know.
What sports can you think of where men and women compete against each other as equals?
Oh, okay. Well, so a lot of, I don't know if you call it sports, but like mind game or like bowling, I guess, and stuff like that. Like I think that's, I think.
Sure, they have a competitive bowling league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff like that, I guess.
Okay, so this is
like
a long
getting tackled.
one. So boys and girls frequently play with different toys. Girls often have dolls and boys often have like toy guns. Is this because they prefer different toys or because we give them different ones?
Probably mostly because we give it to them, but also that I'm sure some prefer it as well. Like I never wanted to play that much with Amber's stuff, like my sister's stuff, but sometimes I did.
Okay.
And I mean, there's this video of this guy that like is super like muscular and like tattooed guy, and he's like, we went to the store with my son, and guess what we got? And he like held up like a doll, and it was like a girl's like doll. He's like, I wanted this. He's like, I got it because he wanted it. And it's like, I don't know. I thought that just reminded me of that because it's like,
so should
usually
that be encouraged or discouraged? Like,
I mean, who gives a shit? I think that's my policy on everything. If that's what they want, then do it. Like,
okay.
Why not?
In your opinion, which gender gossips the most?
I don't know. I don't have enough friends of either gender to determine that.
But like stereotypically.
Stereotypically, I'd say. Stereotypically, you say women, but I mean, I don't know. Dudes talk a lot too.
Okay. So, which gender talks the most?
In general?
Yeah.
That's just based off person.
Okay.
There's super talkative guys and super talkative girls. I wouldn't say necessarily either.
Okay. And what do you understand about the word metrosexual?
Nothing. That's so metrosexual. Am I supposed to break that down? I don't even know how to break that down. I don't know English, so.
Okay. In what aspects of life is it easier being a girl, and what aspects of life is it easier being a guy? Like, in your opinion, what do you think?
If I'd have to base this off of like America's standards,
Okay.
if you will, like American like values that is like kind of to what we're in, because that's all I know, and so I would say girls have it. So girls have it easier in like what categories you're saying? Is that what the question was?
Yeah. What is it? How is it easier to be a girl?
How is it easier? I feel like for women it's easier to maybe like, oh God, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, maybe I should start with men.
Okay.
Men,
yeah.
it might be easier like to like control things. I feel like a lot of it's a man dominated mostly. I know and that's not true for a lot of things, but like I guess in general, like a lot of guys, it might be easier for them to get a raise. I don't think women have that much of a problem nowadays necessarily. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, you want to move on?
I guess I don't like it's.
Okay.
I don't know of anything.
Okay, this is the last question. So,
All right.
which gender is most likely to ask strangers for directions?
I mean, a guy never asks directions. Let's be real. You know where you're going, whether you actually do or you don't.
Okay, so
I feel like a woman's
woman
willing
is-
to admit that she gave up. I mean, this is I guess if you're like if you're like on a date or something, or if you're like no, like I feel like the guy is more likely to be like, nah, I know what I'm doing, even when he doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that also depends on people, but like I feel like that's guys more like.
Okay, well, that's it.